Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Chum. This is another Rutland church. This is the church St. Peter and St. Paul, Exton. Like so many Rutland churches, it is primarily 13th and 14th century in date, largely rebuilt following severe storm damage in the late 1840s. It reached its current form in 1850. And it's most notable for the memorials to the Noel, Earls of Gainsborough, whose banners can be seen above me, and many of whose memorials are in the church. Now, later on they converted to Roman Catholicism, so the modern day Exton Park, the big house just over there, has its own Roman Catholic chapel. But they were, for many, many years, Anglicans, and many of them were evangelicals, the most famous being the Honourable and Reverend Baptist Noel, who was an evangelical Anglican who became a Baptist. Baptist was a common family forename, so it's not a matter of irony. We call our son Baptist and he becomes one. It was an awful lot of Noels were called Baptist who never did become them. Anyway, enough of my rambling about that. Let's have a look around the building, because that's probably, well, primarily, hopefully, what you're here for. So let's do that. As ever, then, we start at the west end of the nave, and you can see here classic form, these clustered columns on the south side and these planar ones on the north. Probably, therefore, it is the ones on the south that are the more recent. These would be 13th century, those 14th century. That's what they look like to me. I'm not an expert, I'm just an informed amateur, as they say. So, we have the memorials. They are the big thing here. We have here this, 15th century, you can see here remains of painting. And it's something that we need to always remember with these alabaster memorials. Originally they were painted to look lifelike. We think today, oh well, they're supposed to look this beautiful alabaster. They're not. The alabaster was carved, then painted. And so it's got surviving paint here. And of course what the paint does, it tells us the colours that the clothes were. He's in armour. You can see here he's a lion, and she's got, it's very, very, very common, there's a little doggy there nibbling away at her, the hem of her dress. Very common. Here's a memorial to Montague Wreathesley Noel, Commander Royal Navy, son of Admiral Charles Noel, born November the 12th, 1892, decorated the First World War twice with the Humane Society's Bronze Medal for Life-Saving at Sea. It was one of these things that was relatively common, that even then a lot of sailors couldn't swim, and officers who could swim get something of a reputation for jumping in and saving them. Captain Aubrey, of course, in the Patrick O'Brian novels that the film Master and Commander is based on, he is noted for being a bit of a lifesaver like this. So retired in 1935, he was appointed financial secretary to Lichfield and lay reader therein, but on a renewed outbreak of war he volunteered forthwith for active service again, and on April the 6th, 1941, while on convoy duty in the English Channel, gave his life for his men. So he retires from the Navy, comes back, and is killed in the Second World War. The font is this very nice 14th century job. This one is original. It's a design that's copied quite a bit because it's very pretty, but this is the original business. And even though, say, the family do convert to Roman Catholicism, they still retain memorials in the church here because it's their parish church. So we go across now to the north aisle, and you can see here we've got more memorials. Here is Tom Cecil Noel of Cottesmore, and he is killed in action in Flanders 1918. And this is another thing to point out, that the nobility and the gentry in England are, the older landed gentry are a military aristocracy, and so when the war breaks out, they volunteer for service and they lose people. The idea that the aristocracy are sitting at home in their posh houses letting the common people do all the fighting is utter nonsense. They are sending out their sons, their military sons, to fight in the war. And here we have to the memory of Lieutenant General Bennet Noel, Colonel of the 43rd Regiment of Foot, who died on the 17th of September 1766 in the 51st year of his age, the third son of the Honourable John Noel, who was the fourth son of Viscount Lord Camden. And you can see there's his mourning wife, and there's his image there, and putting out it's not a very Christian symbol, but there we are. This is Anne, wife of Lord Bruce of Kinlossay, and she was the daughter of Sir Robert Chichester. So, looking for her date of death, but can't say. But anyway, you can see she's beautifully sculpted here. And here we have the more memorials up here. Like many churches, you have a book sale. You can see here you've got some Bibles and Christian books on top of the bier, which is nice. Including, yes, an abridgment of Matthew Henry. So we proceed up to one of the great memorials here, and this is, where are we? Baptist Noel, Lord Viscount Camden, Baron of Kitlington, sorry, Baron of I think Ridlington and Ilmington, Lord Lieutenant of the County of Rutland, and his eminent loyalty to two sovereigns, Charles I and II, and his conjugal affection to 4 wives, his paternal indulgence, 19 children, his hospitality and liberality to all that desired or deserved it, notwithstanding inestimable losses in his estate, frequent imprisonments of his person, spoil and havoc of several of his houses, besides the burning of that noble pile of Camden, have justly rendered him in the admiration of his contemporaries and the imitation of posterity. He left this life the exchange and fruition of a better on the 19th day of October in the 71st year of his age, 1783. It's translating here, there we are. And there's his his last wife, and you see he is in a Roman outfit, Roman armor, and she is wearing a imitation Grecian outfit. So there's a neoclassical element going on here. And then we have their children. They are pictured here. So you've got the other wives. So he had 4 wives, and you can see here his various wives and children depicted. So we've got up here, we have one of his wives with the children, and here we have another wife who died without children, and is wearing somewhat, should we say, no, she died with her. She had 1 child by this wife, and then most of his children are shown here. So you've got those who died in infancy are depicted as infants, and then you've got his various surviving children, and you can see that they're all in these fake or these imitation classical outfits, some of which appear to slip a bit. And here, this would be the other wife there with her children. So yes, you've got your 4 wives and all his 19 children, and so many of them. And that's the most impressive one. Here you've got James Noel, and here again you've got the same idea, and you've got the 2 children up there, James Noel, Viscount Camden. So he is the father of the gentleman behind, the banners of the Noels, which of course lords have their banners. Pulpit is Victorian, and we've got the older memorials, another older memorial through here, which we'll have a look on the way back. But in here is the chancel, and a lovely decorated window. It's all been done over by the Victorians, but it had to be done. It was badly damaged in a storm. And here we have, who do we got here? This is Jacob Harrington of Exton, knight, and there he is and his wife. And just going to see a date on this. Yes, 1591. So Elizabethan, as you'd expect with those outfits. We have here a medieval tomb, altar tomb of Nicholas Green, and that is medieval. Big Victorian stained glass window, small Victorian stained glass window. And we have then there's just a single sedile. And here is Baptist, the 4th Earl of Gainsborough, Baptist Noel, 4th Earl of Gainsborough, and a couple of putty, and you've got this sculptured lady here reclining. Obviously that's him and his wives. They have a Walcott in Northamptonshire, and he died in 1751, age 43. So you've got the various members of the family there, and the grief-stricken Putto. Nice big organ, because this is a country house church. Even though the family went Roman Catholic, it's still very much the country house church, all their memorials, and it's what they did and their ancestors. So here we have Robert Cooley, and there he is in the middle, and you can see you've got that kneeling figures. He is reclining there, and then here in the middle you've got this poor little baby who was so he died in 1580, aged 83, and his daughter and heir married. So his eldest daughter is heir, because there's the child there. So his heiress, sole heiress, and she married John Harrington of Exton, and that, of course, is why all this is here. So this is a chantry chapel for the family, and that then is inside here at Exton with its enormous memorials. Exton of the Noel family. And so we're outside now at Exton. You can see again one of these lovely Rutland towers. The top's been rebuilt, so you've got this quite interesting thing going on up there, and again this nice honey-coloured stone. So we'll have a look around the outside, and you know the drill by now. And if you're watching this first time, well, you'll get to see what the drill is. So as we've said, the tower is rebuilt following storm damage in the late 1840s, and you get this rather interesting affair with its octagon and its corner turrets, which is somewhat reminiscent of Fotheringay, and certainly it's trying to look 14th century, which is nice. The honey-coloured stone, again, very typical of the area, and what we'll do is we'll loop around the south side, because as usual the south side is the presentation front, shall we say. It's the bit that's supposed to look smart. You can see that the transept here there's got no window on the south wall, because of course there's that black and great monument there. It is within the bounds of Exton Park. That is the home, of course, of the Noel's, the Lords of Gainsborough, and surrounded by this quite extensive graveyard. Historically, the Noels are the big employer in the village. It's of course rather different now, but back in the day when you needed all these servants and all these workers on the estate, then these country houses, they were the big employers. You got a good chunk of people working in the house, and then you got an even larger number of people working the estate. Gardeners, farmers, you've got farms that are tenanted, labourers, etc, etc, etc. The big house is on the north side of the church, and like I say, for many generations now the family's been Roman Catholics, so church, although it's a place where they've buried their dead, it's not actually where they've worshipped. It's having its own chapel means that the country house can be a wedding venue, and it is used as such today. But this is the old church, and church has been here much longer than the Noel family. Let's say 13th, 14th century mostly. You can see the little structure there. That would have been the beer house, and it's now the loo and church room. The park, deer park, landscaped, so still looks super impressive. And it's a deer park, and so you have the deer house there. That's where the deer can go and shelter. And that sort of garden building, or park building really, was very, very popular as a way of making the whole estate look. So there's a lake down there, largely artificial landscape, but a very good one. And there we have the north side of the church. You can just see the gate there that leads into the Exton Park estate, and that allows the folk at the park, allowed them back in the day, and would allow them if they wanted to now, to go and have a look, to go to the church. And so the north door here had the function of being the posh people's door, because you wouldn't walk all the way around the estate, all the way around the church to get into the door, not if you were the posh people. So it's quite notable. And again, it's Victorian restoration. As I said, the building is damaged in a storm and has to be rebuilt, largely restored. And there we have it. That's the gate into the park, and the house is back there. So down we go. There's the north door. Not used much today, so because the big house family aren't aren't regular worshippers. And a lot of these big houses, they used to quite a lot for weddings now, so it's very helpful for them to be able to say we have a chapel, in this case a Roman Catholic one. Exton, one of the big churches in Rutland. There are bigger ones, but they're mostly in Oakham. These are really the bigger one. And so there are very few that are quite this posh and grand. You can see there the chimney and the other transept and that whacking great tower. So there you go, St. Peter and St. Paul, Exton, this big country house church in Rutland. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.